welcome to Leeds. This is a second episode that we're filming today, and it's all around elevated railways that have been redeveloped.
This series is inspired by the High Line in New York City. So what is the High Line? The High Line is a public park built on an elevated former railway track on the west side of Manhattan, New York City. It stretches for about 1.45 miles from the meatpacking district through Chelsea and up to the Hudson Yards area. It was constructed in the 1930s as part of New York Central Railroad's West Side Line. It has become a very popular tourist attraction. The UK is littered with old disused railway viaducts. You'll find examples of these in most towns and cities, derelict and too much effort to demolish. New York's success story is the inspiration for several cities back here in the UK.
If you come to Leeds, the railway station's pretty big, isn't it? It's pretty, I say, obnoxiously overpowering at times.
Very busy.
Wasn't the only station in Leeds once upon a time. We also had, well, there was other stations as well, but around the sites where we are now, where we are right here, we had Leeds Central station, long closed. As you can see, it's been well and truly flattened and redeveloped, but we do have little pockets to show you. Starting with, look at this beauty. This is one of a number of old wagon lifts. This wasn't actually on the end of Leeds Central Station, this one. John, I think this was, I was trying to remember the maps that I saw. This was one of the adjoining goods sheds, goods stations that were alongside of Leeds Central Station. If you look at these maps, I'll put the maps on screen now, just look at the number of railways and yards and terminuses here. It's absolutely mind-blowing. Where we're stood here, just been commenting as we're walking up, just imagine, can you see that there's the kind of rib halfway up? About that level would have been the level of the viaduct, the kind of raised, the elevated railway that the goods station sat on. Unbelievable to think that we'd be underneath a railway complex now. But we also had the good, we'll explain more as we go around, because we'll see if we can have a look inside. The wagon lift was to move wagons between the upper level and the lower level. It was more goods yards and goods stations down here as well. I mean, what a beautiful old building. It's amazing that this remains. This was one of a pair that stood in, the other one just stood over the other side there, and that was sadly demolished by, from what I understand from the story, a rather enthusiastic demolition crew. But thankfully, this one behind us has survived, and it's now a museum. So we're going to go in and have a look what's in there. That's some of the original Leeds Station signs. Wow. I wasn't going to go into the complexity of Leeds' railways, but Wellington Street, which it was next to, confused, that was next to the current station, wasn't it? 6 railway companies with competing lines. That's crazy. Sums things up, doesn't it?
So you can see here, the wagons come in here for this big arch here, lifted up, and then out through that one there, which is matching size and shape. It's amazing. It's a long way to lift.
It is massive, isn't it? It's tall. There is 2 sides to the museum. Let's go in the other side.
Standing on the ramp, updating police around, all onto this lorry, found an all closed up. Please see that signal before on the photograph in use. So now the signal there. That's it there.
I think it's safe to say it wasn't the best looking station. Well, neither is the other Leeds station.
Years ago, we used to wait there.
They've not got the design and character of the Manchester stations.
Oh, not
that
the
we've seen.
Manchester Central. God.
In Wellington Place, you only see the wagon hoist in isolation. You don't really relate that that wagon hoist was attached to this massive railway viaduct that you can see here today.
That's brilliant, isn't it? That we've just been stood. It's a bit loud, I'll be able to hear it. Been stood watching the video, which you won't see because of the frequency, but a lot of old photographs
They
and
were the
memories.
best times of my life working at Leeds Central.
Yeah, we've just been admiring the different shades on this look. You can actually make out the archway look. Look how cleaner the bricks look that have been hidden all these years compared to the exposed top bit.
I just love the way it's there open to the public all the time. Unmanned.
Yeah, done a good job with that.
Really good.
A nice little visit. So, before we move on, Leeds Central Station. 1854 Leeds Central Station, which was just the main station, the passenger terminus just next door. I don't know if these are... 1967. The services were basically moved into what you now know as Leeds Station, all amalgamated into one. I wonder if any point since then they've regretted that decision. They could have done with a bit more capacity. But this series is all about looking at the High Lines and the kind of elevated railways on a viaduct that have been repurposed into public spaces. And what we've shown you so far, those elevated sections no longer exist, but we are going to go down and have a look at something now where we've got an old piece of viaduct that has been resurrected, shall we say. So we're going to see that now. So looking back towards the station in that direction, if I just spin the camera around, you'll see, that wasn't a very graceful spin round, sorry, the end of a viaduct there, look. And the speed of development all around this area, it's like something else is going up right next to the viaduct. Let's try and get a view of this from the side. Not easy, it's a bit of trees covering it, unfortunately. That's where it's been ungracefully cut off. So here we are. I was a bit afraid that this was going to be a bit too cleansed.
But it's not.
I don't know. Look at this.
This is a little bit less cleansed in some
It's recessed.
respects.
Still got the old
Yeah,
communications.
It's intact.
What was that then?
It's fairly hefty.
Yeah. I wonder if that was like a telephone box or something like that.
Been well and truly stripped out.
It's been closed a long time, hasn't it? It's had 50 odd years of decay. Just sat there, hasn't it?
But look, you still got little bits of wire just left intact.
Incredible, that.
That's really cool. Yeah, it's a nice garden, but it isn't quite as cleansed in some respects. A few other bits I think to see.
And it's the equivalent, yeah, I don't know, recess. They're not recesses, are they? They're comms rooms or something. I don't know what the correct term on the railways is.
Doors or something.
Possibly, yeah. And then that's the view that you'd see looking into Leeds Central Station, and the goods shed with the wagon hoists there, well, all around the goods sheds. Railway line and industry, as far as you can see. Amazing how much the world changes, John,
just
in the
50,
space.
60 years.
Yeah. What will it look like by the time?
Yeah, another 50 or 60 years.
Yeah. I don't think I'll be making it to 100, but
I'm hoping to.
again, if you watched the last episode we did in this series, we walked over the Manchester Castle field, viaduct. A very, very different viaduct. Similar sort of thing where it's all aimed around nature, isn't it? Yeah, that one's been bricked up.
That's the same thing, isn't it?
So that was the River Air with just the first arch there, wasn't it? That we've just walked over. We'll get a look over on the way back. Then we've got the canal to cross over as well.
So is that in the distance? Is that whole bit right?
Yes. And that squealing you can hear, that's the train just leaving Leeds station. Yeah, the whole Beck, or the Farnley Viaduct, I think was its official name. In the distance, if you're coming into Leeds, like from the Wakefield or that direction, you'll see the long, snaking, impressive viaduct.
So that's also disused, but again, there are some plans to try and make another High Line out of that.
Yeah. It sounds like they're struggling to get funding for that. But that only closed, that viaduct there. I'm sorry to diverse here, but that only closed in the 1980s. I remember coming in young on trains from Doncaster. This pre-electrification, you'd come in on that.
Right, yeah.
Come in on that one. I think we still had some diversions even for a short time. It's funny, memory plays tricks on you like that.
Just show the lines. There's another train coming in that direction.
Yeah, busy place, isn't it? Very busy hub is Leeds. So there's your Leeds-Liverpool canal just underneath us there. You can stand here just counting the number of cranes that there are in Leeds at the moment. Look, if I just pan you around 360 in every direction, there's cranes.
Yeah, you're right. It is literally like Dubai or something. Endless development. Yeah, you're right. Everywhere.
That's what the viaduct does, doesn't it? It splits. It kind of forks here.
Yeah.
To the left and to the right.
It's a bit weird how you get like things like that though, which is just like the entrance to some flats or something. Just onto the viaduct.
Flats have really encroached onto the viaduct here. I think the walkway actually disappears into some flats.
Yeah.
At the end here.
I think that's good though in some respects because it's not just it means it's like still being functional. You can come out your flats and you're going to walk down into the city perhaps through this. It's not the best looking signal.
That old relic, so an original old signal from when the line was in use. On wooden semaphore. Beautiful, that.
Very recent photos these, 2019 to be precise, so only 5 years ago. And thanks to Dave for letting me include them. But wow, what a difference. You'd hardly imagine it's the same place, would you? Great that they have left that semaphore gantry where it was. Incredible how that one survived all this time and now it sits right outside somebody's bedroom window. And a shout out to Dave, whose photos these are. You go and have a look at his YouTube channel. He does a lot of railways and canal videos, so I'll leave the link on the screen now. We can go back even further in time thanks to Britain from above. Again, like we saw with the Manchester views in the last episode, we can pretty much see everything in these shots. The amount of railway buildings and viaducts is phenomenal.
You know, John, when I look at these, the lifts that they've constructed, do you know what I think? The tunnel shafts.
Yeah, they're kind of like
Pepper pots.
blue brick, haven't they?
Yeah, like the ones that you find scattered across Clay Cross. How many more disused railway viaducts do you know that have a tennis table? Yeah, look, you can even see the brackets.
Oh gosh.
The outside of the walls with cables.
Oh yeah.
It's a bit of a funny. Parts of it's quite nice. They've left some stuff, John. Parts of it
so.
just feels weird. But that's what this series is. You can go across any number of disused railway viaducts and walk across them. But this is about ones that have kind of been.
Well, I think Yeah, I think this one I like because it's like functional, so people can come here and they're going to play like basketball, or they're going to play a bit of ping pong, or they're going to sit here and sunbathe on a nice day. I think with the Castlefield one, it is only temporary, isn't it?
Yeah. And that'll be the end of the viaducts on that side. Look, you can see part of the wing walls. You can actually see into the arches here. Look, it's between the two lines as they diverge. It's nice. It's quite atmospheric under here, isn't it? So you put the roof on it. It's quite atmospheric.
Yeah.
Look. Glass roofs. Let's let some light in. I don't know what they're going to do with it. I thought.
Yeah, are they use it for like sort of entertainment space?
I think so. I thought there was like
they've got
bars.
that bar up there.
Yeah, I thought this was bars and things under here.
Perhaps they just have it in the summer or something.
Maybe it's yet to be developed. And right next to the viaduct, we're just fetching you down here just to show you this because it's just right here. Really interesting old railway remains. And we've got, I'll just take you and show you in a minute, an old railway roundhouse here.
It's a full 360 degrees, that one.
Yeah, and look, can you see that one? Then there's a half roundhouse
next to it.
and then a big long there. That's listed on the map, says there's an old turning shop. And that was originally a Leeds and Thirsk railway building dating back to 1847, so that's seriously old. Out quickly, the engines outgrew the space for them.
Right, yeah, they've suddenly got bigger.
You think of Barrow Hill, there's not much room in there, is there? But it's shut in 1904, so we're right up the side of it now, look.
I suppose the brick's actually up close, leaching down.
We've been walking along this closed public footpath. We look like right to Earps because we've walked right to the end and it's closed. It'd be nice if we put a sign at the start of it, John.
Yeah, so football closed ahead.
Would have been helpful, but this was all railway land, I believe, if we look at the maps. And look, we stood on a retaining wall here and I never even realised. Look at the old stones and the old railings there. I'll have to check the maps, but they've just incorporated them into the new path on top of here, haven't they? We never got this perspective when we was walking the other way, but it's walking through a canyon now, look.
I know.
The size of these, they're still being built, look.
So you can imagine they might actually just keep on going, you know.
Well, yeah. Well, they are building something.
Yeah.
Just the other side of the river.
Yeah.
So we've walked over the viaduct. We're just going to pass underneath it now on the Leeds-Liverpool Canal towpath.
Wide arch.
Don't appreciate it from when I always joke about this. The best view of things like this is not from on it, is it? It's looking at it from below. But look at the size of these. Look at the size of the stones on the arch.
It's massive, isn't it?
I don't know if you noticed when I was looking at the old maps on this, as well as the Monk Bridge Viaduct. We had another viaduct that ran kind of parallel to it, that again accessed all the goods sheds, etc. And look, we're down on the canal and there's this bridge abutment. So we have got remains of that former viaduct as well. Oh yeah, the other side, yeah. It is dark down here. Sorry if it's coming out not very well on the footage.
Strange they just left little bits there. So does that mean when we were walking down the path where we saw the retaining wall?
Yeah.
Was that the course of it?
We have just walked down the canal now just to try and get access to These are railway areas around the roundhouse. This is the building, we're right alongside of it here, that's listed as turning shops. Look at those chimneys there. Awesome. 3 on this side, and then 1 in the middle. Great that these buildings all look to be well used and all look to be cared for. We've got the roundhouse there, it's behind this tree. We've got the semi-circle, the half roundhouse, and then this longer building down as a turning shop. If you look at that end of the building, look, you can still see the vents on the top, look. Can you see that little raised area? That little ridge you can see with a fence in front of them flats is where we were walking on, and I said, look at these stones. Is this the remains of a retaining wall? But we're wondering if that's part of that other viaduct that we've just passed under on the canal, or something related to that, look. Back here, it's the stones on it are the same as the viaduct stones, aren't they?
Yeah, very similar. It seems to be the right course.
Yeah, it definitely lines up on the map. Interesting. Oh, like a jigsaw, isn't it? But we've come down just to have a look at these. Look, we've seen this engine shed that's on the left-hand side here. What year did I say it dated back to? 1847.
Yeah.
Was it?
1800s.
So that's the full-size one. We saw it from the other side. Look, we're about to get a bit of a better view of this half roundhouse.
It's taking me back to the Toronto Railway Museum.
Oh, your museum.
Although that was like more wooden construction, but yeah, it's giving me the vibes.
I did read somewhere that the main roundhouse, the full one, on this side, the turntable in the middle was open.
Right. Okay.
And then the sheds, the sheds where the engines, I use the word slept, it was undercover, but the turntable in the middle was open. I suppose a bit like the half roundhouse there. I've never seen an half roundhouse before.
It's quite bizarre because it's almost like it's unfinished.
Yeah. But they've just squeezed one in there, haven't they, next to obviously shorter land, I'd guess, next to the fully formed one. We can't walk around the side of that. We've been thwarted by closed paths all day, haven't we, everywhere we've been?
Oh yeah, that's just out of bounds.
This is just next to, I don't know, I hear this on the travel news all the time, the armlet gyrator here. It's just the other side of the bridge, the other side of the roundhouse, if you just wanted to know where this is. Right, that's only 2 episodes in this series, but I'm wondering, is there more of these types of highline disused railway things in the UK? I don't know. I don't know of any others than these two.
We've got the Camden High Line, which is a proposed High Line. But yeah. I think it could be a few years before that happens.
Before we're filming that. Let me know if you do know. I mean, you can walk in any disused railway viaduct. That's not what this series is about. It's about stuff that's been transformed like this in the Castlefield viaduct. So let me know if you do know of any like this, and we'll pay them a visit, as long as they're not like in Exeter. Cheers to all the channel members. Anyone who buys me a coffee, sends me a super thanks, supports the channel in any way, really is appreciated. So cheers, John, for your company today.
No worries at all.
So take care, and we'll see you soon on another video.